Okay, can everyone hear me? Y'all let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you. I need to spotlight you. And I'm new to doing this on my phone, so I have to figure it out. Okay, there we go.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so hi everyone. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Shauna. I am a star director now with Magnificent Wax Stars. Morgan asked me to hop on and talk about my mindset change that I had. Because it took me a long time to get paid at title just for director. I wrote down all my numbers so that I can compare last year's to this year's, because within a year I went from never hitting director's numbers to hitting them every month, and now I'm star director. I'm not wearing my glasses, so if there's ever a comment and I don't see it, I'll read it afterwards. But okay, so March. So I didn't promote to director until October 2019, okay? And I just barely hit it. But I did not get that title back until April 2020. So it took me the full 6 months of being in director queue. If you don't know, you have 3 months of director, and then if you don't hit those numbers, you get 3 months of director queue. So you have to get paid a title within 6 months, or you get demoted back to superstar. So I went the full 6 months without hitting my 10,000 group sales, and it was struggling. I was like, okay, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really change anything that I was doing. I just let my team do the work, and if we got there, we got there. If we didn't, we didn't. So I had to do a mind shift, I guess that's what it's called. I had to completely change the way I was thinking and how I did stuff, and it actually worked in my favor a lot. Last March, okay, so a year ago, my check was only $1,000. This March, my check was a little over $3,000. So that's a little over $2,000 more just from changing my mindset. And if you average that out, that's like I'm making $800 a week, if not a little more. So that's phenomenal. I've never worked at a job where I'm making that much money. $800 a week is life-changing money, if you ask me. My group went from last year, I only had a group of 24, to this year in March, I had a group of 112. So that's almost 100 people in a month. Then my PRV didn't change very much. It did a little bit. I've always had kind of higher PRV. It went from 2,500 to 4,500. So that is a big jump, but normally I'm getting between 3,000 to 4,000 PRV every month. So it wasn't anything extra that I did. It was just growing my team. My team made that big of a difference on my check. The first thing I had to realize was I needed to start running this like an actual business. Okay, so run it like a real business. Put it first. Okay, make this your first income. Don't think of it as like a side job or side money. Think of it as your primary income, as your primary job. Even if you work during the day, or this is just your side job, don't think of it as just your side job. I'm sorry, the screen is shaking. I'm on my bed because it's the only safe place I have in my house away from my child. Yes, okay, so don't treat it like a side job. Post every day. Make posts every day without it being too spammy. If people think you're being too spammy, for example, if you're posting like flyers that you have on the workstation, of course you're going to have to do some of those whenever it's like a new release and no one actually has the products yet. But as much as you can, find real photos of that stuff. Take real photos. Use pictures of you and your family. Try not to just use, of course, unless it's Disney, or if we don't have the product yet, don't use just flyers, plain boring flyers. That is not eye-catching, and that can come off as spammy because you're just like, I don't know, you're not being personal, you're not making it like real life. So post without being spammy. people will see that it's a real job with a real income, and it's not just something that's going to fizzle out in a few months. So use how do I say that? Okay, so run it like a real business. Post how it is in your real life. Every time people see that, they, at first they might not take it seriously, but as you're doing it for years or months, they're going to see, okay, well, she's not going anywhere. This must be doing good for her. Let me give her a try. She has all these people that she talks about and all these people that are buying from her. Maybe this is a real deal thing. Let me try it. So I know, like, whenever some people start direct sales, you're kind of like, oh, okay, this will fizzle out in a little bit. Just give it some time. They'll stop posting. You can't make them think like that. You can't make them think, she'll go away. No, you're never going to go away. You're in this for the long haul. You want this, okay? Scentsy is life-changing. It's life-changing money. You've got to show people that. Then I had to do a huge mindset change for my team. I was really bad about being a leader. I was leading by example. I was doing all the parties. I was bringing in all the PRV, but I wasn't taking the time to take care of my team. You've got to do that. I realized that real quick whenever I could never hit those directors numbers. You've got to take care of your team. That is where, like, I don't know if y'all have seen my Morgan's checks, $14,000 checks, y'all, $14,000 in a month. And that is just because of the team she has built. Okay, that's insane. So if you're not taking care of your team, your checks are never going to get that high. You're never going to get more people on your team. They're not going to look up to you. So I've learned that shouting them out. Okay, my team loves shout outs. They love the recognition. See, I mean, why am I even doing this? They love being recognized for the things that they're doing. Everyone loves being recognized for the good stuff they're doing. So shout them out, do Facebook posts, make it to where everyone on your friends list, not just people on your team, everyone on your friends list can see it. That way their customers will see that, oh, they just promoted, or, oh, they just, they're so close to hitting sensational star, or whatever the case might be. Shout them out on your main Facebook page. I used to be so scared of doing that. I was like, oh, I don't want everyone in the world knowing I'm with Scentsy. Now I'm like, I want everyone in the world to know I'm with Scentsy. Like, you can ask Morgan. It was like a year and a half. I was in this for a year and a half, and I would not post on my main wall. I was only posting in my VIP group. Of course, I don't spam my main wall, but I do my team shout outs there. And that makes it to where all the random people on my friends list see that I'm running this like a business. They see I have my downlines that are doing good. They see this girl joined and this girl joined and this girl joined. They like seeing that. It, like, the amount of responses I've had just from people seeing that, random people that I don't even talk to, they're like, girl, I'm going to join. This is crazy. You have all these people joining. It makes a huge difference to post on your main wall, especially stuff about your team. Even if you're not posting, like, I don't even post that much about products on my main page. But once you get those new team members, I always help them with their launch party if they want it. Some people don't want it. I offer them the chance. Hey, do you want my help? If you want to do it by yourself, I totally respect that. A lot of the times they'll be like, yes, please help me. Okay, so let's set up your launch party. I'll pick a date on the calendar. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go live here and tell all your guests. I'll do it just like I do my parties. It's just they're getting all the commission and profit off of it. Therefore, it sets them up. Not only are they learning how I do my parties so they can copy it, all their customers and stuff are seeing all the products because I'm able to tell them about everything. I used to be big on giving my teammates the tools, just like being like, hey, okay, do this, do that. It's right here. It's right there. I've learned that it has helped my team a lot if I not exactly give it straight to them, but if they're like, hey, where do I find this? I'll tell them exactly where to find this. I'll do either a video message or a voice message, or I'll do screen recording. And I'm like, okay, this is how you find it, but this is what you're looking for. Like, for example, what was it? She was like, it was a new girl. She was like, how do I find out when the Nova warmer is coming back? So I do a screen recording. I show her how to get to the product status list. I scroll down. I show her where it is. I tell her that changes every day, but I also tell her, okay, it's coming back on the 22nd. So I also kind of like, just so that way I'm not like, oh, here, this is how you find it. Figure it out. That way I'm like, I'm teaching her, this is how you find it, but I'm still going to give you the answer you're looking for. So that way you don't think I'm just leaving you hanging. That has been a huge difference for us too. I actually have made it a point to not respond to my teammates. Like if they send me a message and I'm irritated, say I've had 7 people message me and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, y'all as leaders, you know, sometimes it gets frustrating. You're like, just look at your dang workstation, or just, I mean, if you would have watched the training videos, you would have figured it out. Do not respond to your team. I've learned this the hard way, and she's probably going to watch this, and I do apologize because she's going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Do not respond to your teammates if you're angry or if you're irritated or if you're just fed up. Wait, calm down. They will totally be okay for an hour or so until you calm down, until you feel better enough to respond to them. Because if you come off aggravated or you respond to them and you're upset, they know and they're going to take it personal. They're not going to know you have 9 people in your inbox asking the same thing. So just take a break if you get frustrated. Morgan never, I feel like, gets frustrated. So having to learn that, like, that was tough, because the one girl actually got pretty upset with me. She was like, look, I feel like a dumbass. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that. She was like, look, I feel stupid, and now I feel even dumber because you're getting frustrated. I was like, I'm sorry, it was not towards you. I'm just frustrated, period. So take a second. That is one of the biggest things I've learned. Don't come at your teammates if you're upset. Just let it fizzle out, and you know, respond to them whenever you're able to actually help, and not you know, make them feel like it's their fault. With the new team members too, tell them their goals, tell them their Cincy goals, and tell them like the personal goals you make for them. Shout them out with that. Like, tell them, you know, of course, the shooting star, the sensational start. And like I always try to, Morgan taught us to try to get them certified in that first month. That is an awesome goal, and they get super excited. Like I have one girl and she's $20 away. Every day I'm messaging her. I'm like, girl, you're $20 away still. Let's try this bundle. Let's try advertising your clearance. Try doing this. Set them up with personal goals so they're excited about it too. You're excited, they're excited. And that rubs off. Okay, so if you're excited, it rubs off on them and it gets them excited. Share what work. I know I'm going like point after point after point. That's because that's how I wrote it down. So because the last time I did this, I was very unprepared and scatterbrained. So I'm sticking to my points. That's why I'm like point. Okay, but yeah, share what works with you. Okay, so if you do something, like I do certain things in my VIP group, like I did Shauna's summer 6-packs. Okay, I did my favorite top summer wax bars, my top 6 that I love, that I do not have, like in the summertime, my house will not be without them. I posted those. I was like, hey, I'm doing a personal special on these. If you want Shauna's summer 6-packs, I can't live without these. You won't be able to either. And I just take off $1. I do them for 29 bucks. Takes off $1. And I swear I sold like 15 of those bundles just because they trusted me. They were like, okay, well, this girl smell all the scents. Let me get the 6 favorite bars she likes the most. It was insane the amount of response I got from that. But that worked for me. So I shared it in my team page. Okay. Katie Marie, if she's on here, she did bathroom bundles. It worked for her. She shared it on her team page. So I was like, yeah, let me try that. It worked for her. Did it? It worked for me. So most of the time, if something's working good for you, it's going to work good for your team too. And I don't care if I'm sharing it in my team page. I can copy and paste exactly what I posted. That does not bother me. You should not let that bother you. Let them copy and paste it. If they're making money, you're making money. You want them to succeed just as much as you want to succeed, okay? This is life-changing, okay? You want to help other people change their lives too. If you're in it just for yourself, you're not going to make it far. let them succeed too, even if that means copy and paste. Of course, you're going to want them to, be their own person and figure it out and change the words up so it's them. But if it's working and they want to use it, let them use it, Don't I had to also fix that too, because I was kind of like annoyed. I was like, okay, God, everyone is using the same exact stuff I'm using and they're getting sales off of it too. But that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. I had to fix that in my brain. I was like, good, let people copy me. That's a compliment. That's one of the highest compliments. I don't know why it used to bother me. I don't know if y'all are like that. I might just be weird. But it used to, whenever I first started getting a team, it was like, ooh, but I love it now. It makes me feel good. I'll see all my same wording and all my same posts going down my timeline, and I'm like, that means I did something good here. So I'm helping all these people. It's a good thing. Where is, hold on. Give them tips. There was something I was going to say about making posts. I don't know. I lost it. Obviously, I didn't write it down. By example, create a family. Always be positive. Always be positive, y'all. Okay, so I have so many teammates that are so annoyed by how stuff sells out so fast. Yes, it sucks. We all lose out on money. But guys, that's not the end of the world. That is not life or death kind of situation. Something else is going to come out next week or the week after, and you're going to make tons of money off of it. Always be positive. I had girls in my team page, and they're kind of like, annoyed by it, or they'll make a comment about it, and you just got to keep it positive. Like, hey, I know that really sucked today, but I'm sure there's going to be another one, or they do the second chance. That's okay. They're going to have second chance opportunity. Use that. Or okay, well, that buddy sold out. See if they would like this buddy or this buddy or this buddy. Always turn it into a positive situation. Hey, at least Cincy is booming enough that stuff sold out that fast. Isn't that amazing? We're that busy and that popular. People wanted our stuff within 15 minutes of selling out. That's amazing. Make it a positive thing. I'm so good at turning everything into a positive thing. And that is, I think, coming from real life that I've had to bring into this. But you just got to make it a positive thing. Yes, that used to bother me, my team copying every single thing, but now I just know I'm here to help them like I've been helped. Mindset. Thank you. Yes, it is all in the mindset. If you let that continue to bother you, it will freaking suffocate you. I would literally sit there at nighttime like, oh my God, everyone's copying me. Y'all don't even know. That is the highest compliment. If people see that you're doing that good and they want to be like you and they want to post the things that you're posting because they see it working for you, that's a huge compliment. So you have to change that in your brain to where it's like, dang, that makes me feel good. And that will literally change your whole mood about that. Since I've changed that, I share so many more things in my VIP group that I've done with my customers. I'm like, y'all, try this, y'all, try this. So I'm like always flooded my team page now with like, try this stuff, y'all. It has helped a lot. And that is what I think has helped us hit star numbers. I'm talking too much. I'm almost done. That's what I think has helped us hit star numbers, because I've been more willing to share everything. I will share it, and I've been making it to where I share more, like I said, on my main page. So that's got more people joining. Just share it, y'all. Mindset shift change. I don't know why that's such a struggle for me to say. Mind shift change, all to positives, okay? If you are not working this like a real business, it is never going to be a real business. It doesn't matter how bad you want it. If you're not working it like you want it, it's never going to happen. So that's it. I think I talked too much, and I think I'm real spazzy and squirrely. So hopefully y'all were able to understand all of that. That's it. Thank you.
I loved it. I know everybody else did too. You did not talk too much. That was really, really good. So thank you so much for sharing that. It blows my mind the progress that you've made over the last year, like from going from struggling to even hit director numbers and being in DQ, all the way to promoting to star director and having 2 of your own directors. Like, that is an amazing accomplishment. And it just goes to show what changing your mindset will do. And I mean, mindset is everything. And y'all hear me say that all the time, but it truly is. There is a constant battle, a constant war going on in your mind. And I have been reading a book about mindset by Craig Groeschel. It's called Winning the War in Your Mind. And y'all, it is the best book probably that I have ever read, because it helps you in all aspects of life, and it helps you in your business also. But before we can, run a successful business, and before we can lead successfully and pour into our teams and all of that, we have to be in a good place in our mindset before we can do all that. So you need to be in a good mindset in your personal life, just in general, so that you can run a successful business, and so that you can have that healthy mindset in your business, that positive mindset and that growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. So I love that, Shauna. I appreciate you so much. And I thought it was funny that you said that I don't get frustrated. I just don't show it. My husband knows when I get frustrated, and he's the only person that knows, and maybe a couple other people that I can vent to, because it's important to have somebody either who is like the same title as you or higher. Never vent down, but vent to others. It's okay to do that. Like, we all get frustrated. I get frustrated with my kid. I get frustrated with my husband. I get frustrated with my team. It's okay. So it's totally normal. We're all human. But like she said, to just calm down before you respond if you're in a mood. That's definitely a good idea. And I mean, the reason I don't get frustrated with like people messaging me is because I'm so strict with my boundaries. Because if I see a text come through and it is after 4 p.m., I'm not answering it until the next day, because that is my boundaries that I have set for myself, my family, for me to have a good, like, stable mind and good mental health. Because the minute that I go trying to help everybody all day long, it stresses me out. So like, after my business hours are done, my phone is down. And if I'm on my phone, it is not going to be business related. So, I treat it just like a regular job. Like Shauna said, I treat it like I'm going to work. And when I get off, I'm off. So it is so important to do that. It doesn't matter what your hours are, whether you do this full time or you don't. Just stick with whatever boundaries you need to put in place to stay in a good mental space for yourself. And that way you can still have joy in your business, because the minute that you start to go outside those boundaries, your business is going to start being more overwhelming than it is a joy to you. And that's not okay. We can't have that. We want to always enjoy this. And it's very easy to get lost in, like, to get wrapped up in, I need to do all the things for my business. And, especially like as a leader, when you start to make this your full-time income, or it starts to be a really important stream of income, you can put a lot of pressure on yourself. And you just have to step back and realize that doing a few things well is so much more effective than trying to do a million things and feeling like a chicken with your head cut off, and you're stressed out in your business, and your business is no longer bringing you joy. I've been through it multiple times. And ever since I started being super, super strict with my boundaries, that is when the burnout stopped, completely stopped. Haven't had burnout since. And so you've got to teach your teams how to treat you. And the way you allow them to treat you is how they're going to treat you. So if you're responding to their messages at 10 p.m. outside of your business hours, or, you're doing things that you said you wouldn't do, they're going to take advantage of that. They're going to keep coming to you. If you're giving them all the answers and not directing them to the resource to find it, they're going to keep coming back to you for all the answers. If you're ignoring them and giving them 24 hours to find it on their own, or if you are pointing them to that resource, like Shauna said, the ignoring thing, by the way, that is only for if you have someone who is like, how much is this warmer? Something that they can clearly find in their own catalog or their own website. Like, I'm telling you, don't be afraid to let a message sit for 24 hours. They will find it. But you imagine having a team of 400 and a group of over 1,400 people. Imagine if I was giving all the answers. Imagine if I was, just doing all the things for everybody. I wouldn't have a life. And when you start to teach people to be independent business owners like that, it relieves so much stress, because you're not going to have so many people constantly messaging you, asking you questions. If they know that you're strict with your business hours, if they know that you're not going to answer crazy questions, if they know that stuff, they're going to look it up on their own. It's going to teach them to be independent. It's going to teach them to be self-sufficient. It's going to teach them to be a business owner and not a leech. So there's that. I was not even supposed to be talking about that, but I guess I was supposed to. So maybe somebody needed to hear that. And like she was saying about sharing things with your team, that is why I started the How I'm Working hashtag on our team page, because Hannah has been posting all of the how are you working posts on the leadership group. And it's amazing. Like, we need to be sharing with each other. We need to be contributing more than we take. We need to be contributing to our community of leaders and of team members on our team pages. So share any and everything that ever works for you, any tip, anything that's working for you, anything that's getting you sales. It needs to be shared so that other people can have success. And I still learn so much from all of you, and even like certified consultants, because they're working their business differently than I am. And they're doing things that I used to do that I've slowly gotten away from and don't even realize it, because you evolve in your business and you start to work it differently as you get higher and higher and do this longer and longer. So people who are brand new consultants will post, here's what I'm doing today and here's how it worked. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't done that in like years. I need to go back to the basics and do that. Like, so you can learn so much from your brand new consultants as well. But contributing more than you take, sharing how you're working, sharing, if you make a postcard, if you make a flyer, if you make any kind of signage, share it so that people can use that. Dang it, I was going to show y'all my new signage and I've got it all packed up for my assistant, but I will, hopefully I can get a picture of it before she comes and picks it up. Or I'll just post like the file for it. But anyway, I made new join cards, and I have, my join card is basically still the same as it was, but I put on the back my story. I just copied and pasted my story from my PWS, because I was like, that's an example of one of those things. I was like, wait a minute, I have not been putting my story in with my customer mail outs and my local orders. And I'm like, why have I not been doing that anymore? That is so important to share with your customers. I remember back in the day as a certified consultant and on, like, probably, I don't know, all the way to director, I was just literally going in Microsoft Word, copying and pasting my story from my website with a picture of my family, and I would just print it off on a piece of paper and I would stick it in everything. And I'm like, why am I not doing that anymore? When did I get away from that? I didn't even realize I got away from that. But that is so important, to have, besides just, hey, here's the info about joining, but that connection, to get that connection with people, because your story is what is going to sell the opportunity. Facts tell, stories sell. So stories are so important. We learned that at SFR with the speaker that we had. And so that's just a tip I highly recommend. Putting your story in with all of your customer mail and with your local orders. Just stick it in there. It doesn't matter if it's on the back of a join card. It doesn't matter if it's printed out on a piece of paper from Word. Does not matter. It's effective regardless of what it looks like. Just as long as they can hear your story and learn about who you are, why you're doing Cincy, what Cincy has done for you. It doesn't matter how new you are. You have a story to tell. You can tell them why you're doing Cincy, what your goals are, how it's going to change your life, and what your vision is with your business, why you love it so much, why it brings you joy. So, yeah. So we're already like really far in. I did not expect this to go this long, and it didn't help that I had all the technical issues. But I'm going to take this last 12 minutes to hopefully get through these things, at least the gist of these things, the things that y'all asked. So the first thing was time management and efficient paper systems. So we have paper systems in our group Google Drive, which is at the top of our leadership page. I am about to revamp the Google, not the Google Drive. I've already done that. I actually did some revamping of that yesterday, and so it's easier to navigate through. But I'm in the process of revamping the announcements of our team page and our leadership page so that it's just easier to navigate through, and you can see everything all at once rather than having to click on the announcements and then view all of them. So it's just one, you don't have to click on a bunch of things. So I'm in the process of revamping that. But anyway, our group Google Drive is at the top of that page. It has any and every system that you could ever need for your business. So if you want paper systems, head there first, go to systems for your business, and it will have systems for sales, systems for recruiting, systems for leadership. And then there's also like a miscellaneous folder with other systems that you can use. Don't try to use them all. Just use the ones that you need, take what you need, leave the rest, and see if that works for you. Paper systems worked for me for a really long time. I would print them out on cardstock and I would put them right into my Happy Planner. And I loved that until my business outgrew it. And now I do everything digitally. So the cool thing is with those systems that are in there, they can all be used digitally as well. So they are originally created to be digital. You'll just make a copy of it and put it into your own Google Drive. You can't request access to it from me. You have to just go to file and then make a copy and add it to your own Google Drive. So you can use it digitally like I do. Everything is digital for me now. And so you can do that, or you can print it out on paper. Whatever works for you. I am a paper and pen person. I love paper and pen, but like I said, my business outgrew it. I didn't have time to do it. My digital systems are great because I'm on my computer working regardless. They're there. I have them all pulled up in tabs at all times. And since it's in Google Drive, I can access that from my phone as well. So wherever I'm at, I can go in and make edits to those systems. So say that I'm shopping or something and a customer messages me and they're like, hey, I need to place an order. And I send them my website. I will go into my system for orders to enter, and I will put their name in there right then wherever I'm at, so that I know that I need to check back in with them later if they don't go in and place that order. Because a lot of people will say they need to place an order, but they never order it. They forget, they get distracted, whatever. So it's up to you to remind them. So things like that. Also, maybe somebody messages me while I'm out about joining. And so I need to quickly add them to my dream team list. I will go into my phone, go to my Google Drive, and add that. And so then when I get back home, it is also on my computer. So I love that. So that is the two different forms of systems. You have digital and you have paper systems. They can both be used for either way. So you can print them out, try them out. If they don't work for you, writing them down, just use them digitally. And then you also have Amy, of course, which is a great system for follow-up, for follow-up, potential recruits, potential Cincy Club, hosts, potential hosts. Like, you can do all the things. You can track samples, all the things with that. So those are your options. When I had my paper systems, what I would do is I had two dividers in my Happy Planner that looked like this, and one said personal and one said leadership. And so I would have my personal trackers and systems behind personal, and then I would have my leadership ones behind leadership. So the only paper system I have now is my numbers tracker, because I just really like to write that down and see that in front of my face. And then I also have last month's in here so that I can compare as we go. So this is March. So if today is what is today? 15th. So I can look at last month and look right here at the 15th of March and see that I haven't tracked our numbers today yet, but yesterday we were at 107,000 GWV. And on the 15th of last month, we were at 130. Well, it's going to be a lot bigger because of Sin of the Month building. But anyway, we have been about 30,000 GWV up this month. So I can tell that because I compare these trackers. But you can also use the tracker digitally if you want to. But anyway, I also have this tip. So the if you have a happy planner, or probably any planner, you can find this, but I have a daily, hourly tracker or layout for my planner. So I know exactly what time I have calls, what time I have appointments, what time we have T-ball, what time we have games, all of that stuff. And I have that written down in there. And then it also has a space for personal to-do lists. So I have that. And then it has a space for top priorities. So you can put your top 3 main priorities for that day. And I love this because I am a task motivated person. I'm very it makes me happy to complete tasks and be productive. And so I'm really bad about putting way too many things on my to-do list, and it's way too many things for me to handle for that time that I had. So having the hourly, number one, it helps you tremendously with keeping up with what in the world you have going on in life, but it also keeps me on track so that I know if a task takes 2 hours and I write it down to do at 12, then I can't put down anything else until 2. So I love this hourly layout. It has been a game changer for me in my business. And so if any of you need something like that, I highly recommend that. Let me make sure there haven't been any questions. Yeah, so Hannah also started using a digital planner, which I think is really cool. I would like to look into it, but right now this is working for me, so I'm not going to right now. But I may look into that at one point. And that's the thing. Don't think that you have to do everything that we talk about on these calls. You have to do what works for you. So like Hannah is using a digital planner. I'm using a paper planner still. It works for me. Digital is working for her. What these calls are for is for you to pull ideas from that you need. Just, take what you need and leave what you don't. And, maybe you take one thing from this call for your business, or 2 things, but you don't have to do all the things. There was a question about onboarding. So what I do for onboarding, I shared it in the leadership group yesterday. I have one new team member guide that I send in an email as soon as they join. Once I see that email come through that, hey, you've got a new recruit, I instantly email that email address that's in there. I have it saved in my notes section, what I send. I also posted it for y'all yesterday. I send that to them with a link to that guide. You can take that guide right from our group Google Drive and send it to them, or you can take it, make a copy of it, make it your own, put your own logo on it, put that you are their sponsor and all that stuff on there, which I recommend doing. But for right now, if you just need to take that one, go for it. But it has a link for them for our new team member survey, and it has a link for them for our for their new consultant training series that I have on my YouTube channel. If you are a director or above and you are training through a training series, you need to have your own. You definitely need to make your own, but you're free to use mine until you get yours made. I know it's time consuming. It took me forever to get mine made, but anyway, that guide is what I send to my new team members. And then I've also found a Visly template for a drip campaign, like a text campaign, to send to your new team members. So this is not going to replace checking in with them, getting to know them, doing an onboarding call with them to get to know them and their goals and help them make an action plan. It's not going to replace doing that for your new frontline, but it's going to send them an automated text basically every day. Not necessarily every day. I think it's like every few days in their first 70 days with a tip. So that's not taking any time out of your day because it's a Visly template. So you plug the template into Visly if you use Visly, and it already has it in there. So I took that from another leader who's amazing, and I'm going to make that my own. And once I make it my own and get it done, I will share that template with y'all so that you can take it and make it your own. Or I can go ahead and share it with y'all. I can share hers with y'all. So it's an extra tool that you can use for onboarding and, you know, keeping your new front line. Hey. Come here. It's right here. The mailman is here. Anyway, it's just an extra tool to keep your new team members motivated. And that kind of goes in with the whole how to keep your team motivated and their fire lit and all that. It just gives them tangible tips to use. But on that topic also, how to keep your team members motivated, honestly, you have to think, okay, if you think that you are supposed to motivate your team, you have the wrong mindset. If you think that it's your job to do that, or that you can do this, if you think that it's your job to motivate your team, or that you can motivate them, you can't. And you have to shift that mindset to inspiration versus motivation. You can inspire them all day long. You can post things that motivate or that inspire them. You can, you know, talk with them, get to know them, build relationships with them, show them what's possible with Cincy. You can inspire them, but you cannot motivate them. Motivation is something that has to come from within someone. And if you are constantly thinking that it is up to you to keep your team motivated, or that you can, you're going to exhaust yourself because you can't. And I used to think that way, and I'm speaking from experience that you cannot do that. You need to be focused on inspiring them, empowering them, and then and giving them the tools they need. And if they want to take those tools and run with it, then that's awesome. If they don't, move on to someone who does. If you're constantly focused on the people who aren't doing anything, you're going to miss the people who are doing something. So you've got to be focused on the people who are doing something and who are showing that they are motivated. And, you know, also something that keeps the fire lit in people is continuing to, and this goes with potential recruits as well, continuing to like remind them of why they're doing this. And that's why it's so important to know your team members, but just, you know, kind of keep that in the back of their mind. Like, hey, I know that you're frustrated. I know that you feel like whatever, you know, you've heard no all these times, but just know, I know the feeling. It's totally normal. It's going to happen. It's honestly part of this business. But if you continue to persevere and just stay consistent, you are going to get to that place where you can put your daughter in that private school, or, you know, whatever it is. So, that's important too. And then the last one was what to discuss on your own team calls. So all of you as leaders should be doing some kind of connection with your team at least monthly, whether it's in person or it's on Zoom like this or Facebook Live. It does not matter, as long as you are connecting with them and teaching them and getting them together as a team and kind of building that camaraderie and that culture. So, I have a whole dang list of things that you can pull from that I will post on this page. It's a whole ongoing list of training topics that you can choose. You know, if you're just at a loss that month and you don't know what to train on, pick something from that list. You can also gauge interest from your team. So like I did with y'all, make a post and do like a poll or whatever and say, hey, what do you need help with? What are you struggling with? That way, you know what your team in particular needs to hear. So ask them what they're struggling with. Do a training on how you are working in your business. What is working for you? Show them how to make samples. Show them how to send mail. Show them how to whatever. Like, anything is great. Just something to get your team together and teach them something and just have that community. So that is all I have for y'all today, because we've been on here forever. Surprise, surprise, per usual. I hope y'all learned something. If you will go over to the leadership group and share your biggest takeaways, that would be amazing. And I will have this recorded on YouTube so that you can access it through the Google Drive with all of our leadership calls from the past. I love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me today with all my technical difficulties. And I will talk to y'all again soon. Bye.